Get 3 months of local news for just 99 cents a month. You'll get unlimited access to the news you need to stay engaged and connected to your community. Visit duluthnewstribune.com/subscribe now to get 3 months of local news for only 99 cents a month.
Hello, Northlanders. It's Tuesday, March 7th. I'm Wyatt Buckner with your Duluth News Tribune Minute, presented by Minnesota Power Employees Credit Union.
The average MPECU member saves over $785 a year in better rates and lower fees. And with MPECU, every ATM is your ATM. With their free checking program, you get ATM fee reimbursements at any ATM anywhere in the U.S. Check out Minnesota Power Employees Credit Union services online at mpecu.com or visit their offices in downtown Duluth, Arrowhead Road, or Miller Trunk Highway.
Now here's a look at today's headlines. Sally Tarnowski, one of northern Minnesota's longest tenured jurists and the region's former chief judge, died Monday while vacationing in Florida, the Minnesota Judicial Branch said. A cause of death was not immediately identified in the statement, which was sent just before 9:30 p.m. Monday. Tarnowski was 63. Tarnowski, a longtime Duluth attorney, was appointed to the 6th Judicial District Bench by then-Governor Tim Pawlenty in 2007. She was known for championing the creation of the South St. Louis County Mental Health Court in 2009, continuing to preside over the specialty court that seeks to provide an alternative to incarceration and provide a pathway out of the criminal justice system for those struggling with mental illness. Her fellow members of the judiciary in 2016 elected Tarnowski to her first of 2 terms as chief judge. In that role, she was tasked with overseeing the unprecedented challenge of shuttering courthouse doors and shifting operations entirely online in the face of the COVID-19 pandemic. Tarnowski also oversaw the Duluth Indian Child Welfare Court and supported early neutral evaluation in family court, which seeks to provide more prompt resolution of disputes involving custody, parenting time, and financial matters. Meanwhile, Barb Russ, a longtime community advocate and former Duluth City Councilor, died early Monday of natural causes. She was 74. Russ, who earlier led the civil division of the St. Louis County Attorney's Office, spent 6 years on the council before resigning in April 2020 due to a cancer diagnosis. Russ spent 33 years as a member of the County Attorney's Office, providing legal representation to all departments and assisting in various economic development proposals before retiring in February 2013. She touted that experience and encouragement from friends and colleagues and throwing her hat into the ring as a first-time candidate later that same year. Russ, who earned the backing of the Democratic Farmer Labor Party, went on to win one of 2 at-large seats on the Duluth City Council, a position she retained in the 2017 election. She also served on the Duluth Economic Development Authority and was known as a key voice on issues such as poverty and sustainability. Among other community roles over the years, Russ also served on the boards of Community Action Duluth, the Program for Aid to Victims of Sexual Assault, the YWCA, Duluth Sister Cities International, and Woodland Hills. The family asked for privacy and said a memorial service will be announced at a later date. Members of the Minnesota House passed $1.9 billion in capital investment bills Monday, despite Senate Republicans saying they'd block any public works borrowing proposal unless the House also passed tax cuts. It's been more than 2 years since the legislature passed a bonding bill, a major public works borrowing proposal that helps fund projects like water treatment plants and road work across the state. Representatives approved 2 bills Monday night, a bill to borrow about $1.5 billion and a bill to use $392 million from the historic $17.5 billion budget surplus for projects across the state. The $1.5 billion in borrowing passed 91 to 43. The direct spending passed 98 to 36. Bonding bills require a 3/5 supermajority to pass, and an unproductive 2022 legislative session marked by gridlock between the DFL governor and House and the Republican majority Senate, no capital investment was signed, even after lawmakers reached an agreement on more than $1 billion in spending and borrowing. While DFLers now have majorities in both chambers, they need the support of some Republicans to get bonding bills across the finish line. In the House, the 70-64 DFL majority needed 11 Republicans to join in supporting the $1.5 billion in borrowing. The nearly $400 million in general fund spending only required a simple majority to pass. Republicans who opposed the borrowing bill argued the state should not be borrowing more than $1 billion when the state has a giant surplus. But supporters said borrowing spreads the cost out over time on projects that will benefit people decades into the future and help avoid future inflation on construction costs. Now here's a look at your forecast, brought to you by the News Tribune's hockey podcast, Bulldog Insider.
Here is the weather forecast for the Duluth area today. A partly sunny day with a high temperature in the low 30s. Northerly winds around 5 to 15, gradually switching to the east. Going to keep things mostly cloudy with occasional flurries or light snow showers for the next several days. Highs will be in the low 30s, lows down into the 20s. The chance of snow becomes much more likely by Thursday night into Friday, and there's going to be a chance for heavy snow then. I'm Storm Tracker meteorologist John Wheeler.
Thank you to Bulldog Insider for their support. The weekly podcast, hosted by News Tribune reporter Matt Wellens and My9 commentator Zach Schneider, features University of Minnesota Duluth hockey players, coaches, and alumni. New episodes drop every Thursday on duluthnewstribune.com or wherever you also get this podcast. Reporting for today's episode was done by Tom Olson, Alex DeRozier, and Melinda Levine. Thank you for listening to the Duluth News Tribune Minute. Have a great day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.